Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the Pesicha of the CHOFETZ, listing more lavin, more negative prohibitions that a person transgresses when he speaks lashon hara. Sometimes the one who's telling over lashon hara transgresses the prohibition of the leisisna es achicha bilvavecha. You're not allowed to hate your brother, your fellow Jew, in your heart. Kagoin. What is an example of this? When you're in front of this person, or he's in front of you, you speak nicely and peacefully and say good things and you smile. But when he's not around, you put this guy down and you disgrace him and you speak not nicely about him. And all the more, says the CHOFETZ, if when you're around Yankel, you say, "Oh, Yankel, you're such a nice guy. You're great. You're a rock star. You're the best guy around." And then he walks away, and you gather a few people around. You say, "Yankel over there, you know how a louse he is. You know what a schmutzy guy is. You know how he takes advantage of people. You know what he does here and what he does there. But listen, do me a favor. Never tell him that I told you this. Okay, make sure this is between you and I. Don't tell him." Says the CHOFETZ, if you act in such a way, the bevadai over Allah says, certainly, this is like sisna es achicha bevavecha, you hate your brother in your heart. Further, v'lefa'amim sham mesaper over gamken al lav the leisika v'leisito. Sometimes the person telling over lashon hara can also transgress another prohibition. Leisika, you cannot take revenge. But leisito, you cannot bear a grudge. Says the CHOFETZ in the Ber Ma'im Chaim in the explanation below, quoting the famous Gemara, Ezehu nekima, what is considered to be taking revenge? Somebody asked me, "Can I please borrow your spade or your shovel?" And he says, "No, I'm sorry." And the next day, this guy comes to the first one. He says, "I'm sorry, could I borrow your shovel?" I'm not going to loan you the shovel, just like when I asked you yesterday, you wouldn't loan it to me. This is considered to be taking revenge. What does it mean to bear a grudge? Well, Reuven says, "Shimon, can I borrow your shovel?" And he says, "Love." And Shimon says, "No, I'm sorry, you can't borrow my shovel." The next day, Shimon comes to Reuven. He says, "Reuven, can I borrow your shovel?" Take a good look over here, my dear friend. I'm not like you, who wouldn't let me borrow your shovel. Zuhi netira, that's called bearing a grudge. So it says the CHOFETZ, if you speak lashon hara, you might be over on this as well. Maybe you are upset with this person because you asked him for a favor. For example, you asked him to borrow money or something of that nature. Like I explained. But he wouldn't do it. You asked him, "Can I borrow? Listen, Reuven, can I borrow $100?" He says, "No, I'm sorry, you can't borrow money from me." Because of this, you have this sina that is bearing a grudge, burning inside of your heart. And when you see something bad about this person later on, so what do? You're bearing a grudge. You're upset with him. He didn't help you out. So then you see this guy do something that's really not good, and it's something that is can be a ganai, can be disgraceful for him. So you go and you be mefarsim, you reveal it to other people. So originally you transgressed the prohibition of having netir, having netir, which is the not the jealousy, but the bearing a grudge in your heart. Al lav the leisitor. Now that's lav leisitor. And now that you have ended up taking it out on him by saying lashon hara about him, kishenoi came Mimenu, when you now end up having what's called this revenge, you spoke about the bad things and the disgraceful things that you saw about him. You now have transgressed the prohibition of being jealous, of taking revenge. Therefore, you have to wipe this out of your heart altogether. So this says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, 2 more prohibitions that a person who speaks Lashon Hara is likely to transgress if they're not careful. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there in the world of Lashon Hara.